Let's talk the 3 books of the Nevernight Chronicles by Kristoff. I'm bringing this trilogy up because I'm currently reading the Empire of the Vampire trilogy, also by the same author. Book 3 should be arriving today. I'm so excited. I'm a little over 100 pages into this book. By the time this video uploads, I'll probably be 200 pages in, and I am loving this. So I thought it would be appropriate to share one of my favorite trilogies of this year. I read this back in March of 2025, and I'm going to share this and my thoughts on it now because now I have a book sharing account. So let's talk this amazing trilogy. It is 5 stars, phenomenal, and I'll talk about what I liked about these books. I'll have videos of my initial reactions to these books, and I'll talk about who I would recommend these books for. So let's get into the Nevernight Chronicles. The Nevernight Chronicles is a trilogy, with Nevernight being the first book, then God's Grave, and then Dark Dawn being the last book. And they progress in this order, and yes, you do have to read them in order. Ratings-wise, Nevernight was a 4.5, God's Grave was a solid 5-star read, Dark Dawn, solid 5-star read, overall trilogy, 5-star. Absolutely fabulous. I have the original covers, I believe. There are these new covers for these books, and they're great, but I personally really love the covers that I have. This is my Nevernight cover, my God's Grave, and my Dark Dawn. Oh, she's such a boss. My book also came with this adorable magnet, which I just think is absolutely so cute. It's so adorable. Oh. So this followed me throughout my entire book experience. This trilogy was my introduction to Kristoff, and I loved it. It was awesome. These are videos that I took prior to ever having a book recording account. So these were my original thoughts when I first started this book. I just want to say I'm literally 1 page in, and I'm having a really great time. I'm on page 7, and I'm now confused. This may sound strange, but I think this author is flirting with me. Oh, stop giggling and grow up. As a quick, very non-spoilery description, Nevernight is about this main character, Mia. She is living in a world where it's, get this, never night. There are 3 suns, so they only set once every couple years, and so it's almost always some form of day, and it's a very interesting world that's built, especially in comparison to the Empire of the Vampire, which starts off with night descending and the darkness coming, and where the sun still rises, but it's really just a blotch in the sky because it's dark now all the time. I thought that was a hilarious contrast with the Nevernight Chronicles. This book really reminds me of Dune, along with Harry Potter, because this is a Assassin Academy book. The beginning kicks off so well. It is awesome. It ends phenomenally if you get stuck in the middle. I get that. It lulls just a little bit, which is why it's a 4.5 star and not a 5-star read, is because of that lull in the middle. But push through because goodness gracious, this series is worth it. Keep in mind for this book, the very beginning, within the first couple pages, you might get confused. That's okay. Keep reading. You'll see the general level of spice that can be involved in this book. This series is not about spice, but it does have it. And those first couple pages demonstrate the kind of level of spice you should expect from this series. If the middle of this lulls just a little bit, it's still really fascinating, but the middle gets really big into that world building part. So there's a little bit of a slowdown. Just keep reading. It is so, so worth it. But Dune and an adult assassin's version of a Harry Potter school kind of esque vibe is what I got while reading Nevernight. Absolutely loved it. This was also the first book I read that had footnotes as an active part of the author interacting with you, the reader, as well as further building up the world and the lore and stories of that world through footnotes. And I mean, some of the footnotes, genuinely, this is a footnote. They're they can even get up to half a page, I think, at some points. So they can be quite extensive. They are so funny and so rich. Here's a couple examples of footnotes that I absolutely loved from this series. Oh, stop giggling and grow up. My God, it's page XVII! And he's already flirting with me! Also, keep in mind all of these videos and clips from the past where when I was not creating content that would be publicly shared. I'm sharing them now because they're the true reactions that I had to these books, but that's why they are the way they are. So apologies because there's a ton of cursing, which is not usually what I do on this channel, but here it is. No, coming strong. In this part of the book, we're describing a quite insane creature. It's pretty terrible. And the last line of the footnote goes, honestly, what kind of sick bastard thought this thing up? You did. You fucking did. God, I love this author. Ready for this footnote? Oh, fuck me, you were thinking, it's been a while. I wonder where all the footnotes went. Maybe the author got embarrassed by everyone in his own book taking a steaming shit on them and deciding to refrain for the rest of the novel. Well, fuck you, gentle friends. And then the story, and then at the end. So there, another footnote, and there's plenty more where that came from, you ungrateful bastards. If you're such an expert on literature, maybe you can write your own book. The second book is God's Grave, and this was my initial immediate reaction for this book. Oh my God. Holy shit. Oh my God. Fucking amazing! Holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. I can't wait for book 3. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Wow, wow, just wow, what a book. Oh my God, what a story. This is such a good story. Wow, oh my God, amazing, amazing. 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 I know I keep saying that, but holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. Oh my God, oh my God. I mean, absolutely 5 stars. I don't know if it's more than that. I'd have to give it a little bit of time to think on it. Absolutely, without question, is a 5-star read. Probably a little bit more than 5 stars. Oh my God, holy shit. Oh my God, so, so good. So, so good. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I loved this book. One word to describe this book as like a summary that won't spoil: gladiators. Okay? Gladiators. You can see it from her on the cover. This is not a spoiler. It's gladiators, and it's awesome. This book reminded me of the first book in Children of Blood and Bone. While I have feelings about the rest of that trilogy, book 1 was a solid 5-star read, and there were things in this book that reminded me of that book. The Nevernight Chronicle actually began being published before Children of Blood and Bone, so I'm not saying that there's any form of copying happening, but I just really liked having a little bit of that. I've seen this before. So this book actually reminded me of the first book in the Children of Blood and Bone series, which I really did like. That was a 5-star read, and I thought that was really cool. Absolutely loved this book. This book was phenomenal and really solidified that I was going to adore this series. The last book is Dark Dawn, and I also loved this. This was a 5-star read. Such a phenomenal, heartbreaking, devastating, fabulous, amazing conclusion to this trilogy. This is one of the greatest conclusions I have read for a book series. It is phenomenal, just absolutely amazing. Read it. I loved it, loved it, loved it. And when it was over, I was sad and I was like, no, give me more. But not because this author didn't do a phenomenal job of having a great amount of content. This trilogy was a beautiful, excellently wrapped up. I just miss it already. Like, I just missed it from the moment I stopped. From the moment it concluded, I started missing it. And I just loved it. It was absolutely phenomenal. This book reminded me of Dune. It reminded me of Running Close to the Wind by Alex Rowland. It reminded me of Yield Under Great Persuasion by Alex Rowland. And it reminded me of the third book in the Children of Blood and Bone series. Now, the third book in that series, The Children of Anguish and Anarchy, I hated that book. I DNF'd 20 pages to the end, which is pretty bad when it comes to how far I got into the book before I decided to DNF and just skim the rest. It was a solid 1 star, massively disappointing. I think this content creator did a really good job of explaining why that book fell so short from the series starting off with a 5-star read with Children of Blood and Bone and then down to a 1-star read with the final conclusion book. I will say there's elements of this book where I was like, oh, okay. So interestingly enough, this book reminded me of that third book, but this isn't done right. Again, I'd like to preface, I'm not saying that J. Kristoff fixed anything from that author. These trilogies, honestly, were released roughly at the same time with the Nevernight Chronicles coming, starting its publication before Children of Blood and Bone. So I'm not accusing this is not about accusing for copying or any of that stuff. It was just interesting to see some similarities, although Dark Dawn was published before the third book because the third book took so long to come out. But genuinely, I think this was just a phenomenal conclusion. I mean, I genuinely was just sad when this ended. I was like, ah! And I immediately went and I bought up Empire of the Vampire, book 1, Empire of the Damned, book 2, and then Empire of the Dawn, which is book 3, which is arriving today. It is later this same day, and the Emperor of the Dawn has arrived. Look at this beauty! I am thrilled. The trilogy is here, and we shall continue through November to finish this series and let you know how they come out. I'm so excited! Overall, this trilogy is absolutely phenomenal. It is dense world building. It is hilarious. The footnotes really enrich the world and also give it a level of very large world building aspect. I absolutely love J. Kristoff. This was a phenomenal success. I highly recommend this to anybody who likes epic world building, anybody who loves characters and character development, anybody who was devastated and heartbroken by the Children of Blood and Bone series and would like to read something that will help heal your hurt heart. I would recommend this. I would not recommend this to individuals who can't read dense writing. This is very dense writing. It takes time to get through because it's so rich. So keep that in mind. I got a comment on one of my previous posts about my dislike of the Priority of the Orange Tree and how I might not be into big world building, but more character development. And I will say there's an element of that is true. I definitely heavily value character development, and it does have a greater importance to me than world building. World building is important. World building and consistency is important. But if the characters are not intriguing, if I don't end up caring about them, it doesn't matter how fabulous your world is. If I just want all of the characters to just go away, doesn't really work. I think the Nevernight Chronicles is a really good representation that I absolutely love. Excellent world building. I can totally read dense, epic, big world building, but still being a book that also emphasizes fantastic characters, development, storytelling, really makes you love and hate and be interested and invested in these people's story and want to keep reading, because this is a very dense book. A good way to demonstrate this is not only do we have a map of the entire world in which this book exists, but we have a second map of one of the key cities within this world as well. So this is a ginormous world, lots of traveling happening. This is fantasy, this is grimdark, there's definitely elements of gore, it is adult fiction for sure. There is spice in these books. From what I recall, we're not looking at a series that emphasizes spice, but it's not a series that shies away from including it. It is there, it is present. It's just definitely not the point of the book, but it's present. You'll catch that at the very beginning of Nevernight. There's a bit of a back and forth that happens that thoroughly confused me. That was this video. I'm on page 7 and I'm now confused. So if you have a little bit of confusion at the beginning of Nevernight, keep going. You'll figure it out. It's fine. But yes, it's a little bit spicy, but really it's just, this is an adult fantasy trilogy. It's phenomenal. I think it's a fantastic step into J. Kristoff. This is the only completed series of his that I have fully read at this point. The Empire of the Vampire will soon join that statement. But overall, love, love, love. Fully recommend. 5-star series. Absolutely loved it. So that's the Nevernight Chronicles. I hope this helps you decide whether or not you want to read it. And I hope you understand that this is beautiful and fantastic and amazing, even if you decide it is not the type of series that is your style. For those of you who do think this is your style, pick it up and do it soon, because worth it, worth it, worth it, worth it. In the meantime, I am going to continue with Empire of the Vampire. There have been so many hilarious snippets from this book that I think I'm probably going to start posting like a multi-part series on my favorite quotes from this, because as I said, I'm close to 200 pages in and there are probably like 10 hilarious things that I've already caught in this book. Just funny quotes that I would love to share. So I'll be posting those soon as I progress through Empire of the Vampire. So that's Nevernight Chronicles, and I'll see you next time. Keep reading what you love.